Britain's rental market is at breaking point,
Give me home.
with not enough homes to go round, soaring rents,
Oh my God.
squalid, overcrowded conditions,
Little swines.
landlords pushed to their limits.
They're crooks, they're running a scam.
When am I going to get my money?
At the hands of bad tenants.
We're just trying to see when you're leaving our property.
Carnage, utter carnage.
It's a frigging full room. Hang on a minute, lad, who are you? I've got a situation. I need police assistance.
This is Nightmare Tenants, Slum Landlords. In this episode, we catch up with some of the most extreme stories.
You've caused my client so much grief.
I have nowhere to go.
How does this be normal, yeah?
Just start laying your hands on me again. I'll be going out there a lot quicker.
And find out what happened next.
Might have been dead.
Discover the lessons learned by both landlords
Little swines.
and tenants. Four out of 5 of Britain's private landlords own just one rental property. This means that when a tenant stops paying the rent, the result can be devastating. "32-year-old English teacher Mohammed Rahman is owed over £8,000 in rent and legal fees by his tenant, Carmen. It's been almost 4 months since he received rent for his 3-bed house, and he's in deep financial trouble.
The rent started coming in late, and I had to keep on calling them, and they keep on coming up with excuses. And after about 9 months, my rent stopped. Financially, it's really hard for me and my wife, and it's painful in so many different ways.
At the end of his tether, Mohammed has asked eviction specialist Paul Champlina for help. A week ago, they took his tenant Carmen to court.
We were successful in obtaining a 7-day possession order against these tenants, and now it's run out. So I'm going to go back and see whether this lady is in the property, and if she is, then we know that we're going to most probably have to go and get the bailiffs in. People have a perception of landlords, oh, they're these greedy property investors that just want to make money out of people. They're just normal people, you know. 80% of landlords out there have 1 and 2 properties, you know, and it's really, really hard. Hi, Mohammed.
Morning, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm all
Are
right.
you okay?
I'm kind of, yeah. How
You're
are
a little
you?
bit nervous, I presume.
I am, yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock on the door, see if she's here, and if she hasn't left, then we have to have a conversation about how we need to evict the tenants.
Let's do it.
We pitch up early in the morning to try and get tenants in. Some of them will slam the door in your face, or some of them will get verbal, and sometimes they will get physical. So, yeah, you're quite jittery. You don't know who's behind that door, and you don't know what reaction you're going to get. All right, let's go. Hello? Hello? Hi. You're the tenant? You're Carmen, yes? Yes. This is the letter explaining what happened at court. This is the landlord. You know the landlord? He's owed almost 4 months' rent.
Okay.
He's had no money. He got a possession order last week. Are you going to be leaving then?
Yeah.
That was expected.
I was hoping that they'd come to their senses, either pay the rent or leave. I was really hopeful, but it didn't work out that way.
Although Carmen is the named tenant, Mohammed and Paul strongly suspect there are more people living in the house, which will make the eviction more challenging.
The next time we're going to come back here is going to be with bailiffs.
Yeah.
Mohammed is desperate for his tenant to leave, not only due to the unpaid rent, but also because he wants to move his own family into the 3-bed house. At the moment, all 4 of them are sharing one room in his brother's home.
So this is basically our sleeping room, our chilling room, my work room, my children's playroom, my wife's dressing up room. Yeah, it's hard.
2 years ago, when he bought the 3-bedroom house, he planned to rent it out while he saved enough to refurbish it.
There's no zip? Press it a bit harder.
When his tenants stopped paying the rent, his life was turned upside down.
Can you do one of these shapes? It's really hard not to get angry about something like this when you're living cramped in a room.
Even though Mohammed works full-time as an English teacher, he's finding it hard to cope.
I've had to think of different ways of making money. So I thought I'd do Uber, which is quite flexible, and I can do it after school or during my holidays. It is long hours. It doesn't pay well, but it pays.
Mohammed can only hope that Carmen and any other occupants move out without a fight.
At this point, where everything is falling apart, I just want that property back so I can just start afresh.
In 2012, squatting in a residential property became a criminal offence, with the maximum sentence of 6 months in jail. Lawyer Chris Sharp from the Landlord Group is on his way to serve squatters in Winsford, Cheshire, with an eviction notice.
If the occupiers are there when we get there, I will explain to them in no uncertain terms. They will have 24 hours. That is it.
Carl, the owner of the 3-bedroom bungalow, is currently away, working in Mexico. Chris suspects the squatters know that and are hoping no one will notice that they've taken over his empty home.
My motivation is simply to get the people in there out, because that's what my instructions are from my clients. We hope it will be peaceful and we hope it will be straightforward. We don't want any problems. So if you can see, it's a lovely little suburban street, and then you've got this. It is just a wreck. These people just have no regard whatsoever. It's been broken into, you can see where it's been broken into. Can't hear anyone, but there's definitely a dog in there.
With the eviction notice served, the squatters have just 24 hours to get out or face arrest.
Oh, just as homely around the back as well. Oh, that's a beautiful dog. Look at that dog. When I turn up to a property to serve notice, if there's nobody there other than that lovely little dog, I'm quite relieved, because it just negates any potential for confrontation. I'm just going to give Carl a call now. Hello? Carl, I'm at your property. I've served the papers. There's nobody in. There is a dog here, but the place is a real mess, Carl. You know, you've got a lovely street here, and then you've got your house, which has been, it looks like they've just trashed it. It's just terrible. Round the back's the same as well.
Oh, okay.
How are you feeling?
Well, I'm upset now. I'm worried. No, I mean, let's just wait and see what happens.
Okay. Thanks, Carl. I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Thanks for your help, Chris.
Here you've got Carl. He's 4,000 miles away, and they're pulling this stump behind his back. How frustrated must he be? I'm frustrated, and it's not my property. And whoever's doing it, they need dealing with.
It's 6:30 a.m. and English teacher Mohammed Rahman is heading to his rental property. In less than an hour, High Court sheriffs are set to evict his tenant Carmen and anyone else living there.
I've been looking forward to this day since like 4 months now. I just want it to be over and just done. I just want to get it over and done with.
Even though the eviction order gave his tenant 7 days to leave, Mohammed's legal advisor, Paul Champlina, is not feeling optimistic.
You know, when there's months and months of court cases and there's letters and there's confrontation, tenants still don't understand that they're going to be evicted. They think that day's not going to come. So when we turn up and that happens, then emotions run really high. So I was really, really nervous driving to that eviction. Hi, Mohammed.
Hey, morning, how are you?
A miserable day in Ilford.
It is.
We're 15 minutes away. It may kick off. We've got to make sure that we manage that properly. And if it does and they refuse to leave, then we call the police.
A few minutes before 7, High Court Sheriff Scott Hines turns up.
Hello, Scott. Hi, mate. You all right? It's just over there. The lights are on. Someone's in there, Scott.
Morning. Do you want to open the door for me, please?
Yeah.
Hello. I'm the enforcement agent. This is High Court writ of possession. You're leaving this morning, yes? This tells me that you have to leave. Come in, please. Excuse me. Madam, you need to start packing for me, please.
Who is doing?
Mohammed is now owed over £8,000 in rent and legal fees, money he's having to make up by working 2 jobs, 7 days a week.
This is High Court writ of possession.
Yeah.
No, you need leave.
Don't come, ladies, yeah?
Listen, don't start shouting.
Don't come, ladies, yeah?
Let me come in.
Sorry?
Why are you coming?
Get out.
Don't start doing that and
Well,
start
why are you
threatening me.
going for
You
my
don't scare
children?
me
Why?
whatsoever.
You wanna fight? I want to speak normal, yeah? Hey, children, small,
You're shouting.
don't come inside, yeah?
I'm going to be honest with you. We can do this 2 ways, okay? The first way is I'll help you pack a bag and I'll help you carry it out. The second way is you're going to be carried out as well, which I really don't want to do. But you are leaving, so now you make a decision of how you want to leave. Because you are leaving.
When we tell them they've got half an hour to bag their stuff up and leave, then the reality kicks in and then all the emotions come out. If someone becomes aggressive, then it becomes a different scenario.
Hey, children, small,
Some people will try and intimidate so that it doesn't go ahead.
please, please.
Get your hands off me now,
Please.
okay?
Don't push.
Don't push me, okay?
Don't distress the children.
If you start laying your hands on me again, you'll be going out there a lot quicker, okay? Take your paperwork. Okay?
Listen, please.
You can look at me all you like, you can stare at me all you like, okay? You don't scare me, now get your shoes on and leave, please. I've asked you nicely. You've started getting aggressive. Get a bag packed, get stuff for the children and leave.
With the situation getting out of control, Mohammed calls the police.
We've got a High Court sheriff in there with a High Court writ, and the occupants, tenants, won't leave.
So you need to start packing up things you need today for your children, yeah, medicines, paperwork, like your ID papers, things like that. You need to take those and get those done. You've got, 45 minutes?
Yeah, if you're happy with that.
3/4 of an hour to do that, but you've got no choice, you have to go.
I just feel really sorry for the children that have to go through all this. It's just really distressing.
When the kids were crying, I felt bad for them. I mean, who wouldn't? But I put the blame solely on the parents because the parents knew exactly what was going to happen. If they really cared about their children, then they would have made sure the children weren't there.
Realising the game's up, events take a surprising turn. The man who was refusing to leave casually walks off with 2 of the children.
When I saw that they didn't have any bags and it didn't look like they were actually moving, I was just so angry. They live somewhere else. Yeah. So I've just seen them just walking to the house. They live in that property. So they just live right across from my house.
See ya. Bye-bye. Bye. Take care.
Mohammed's house, there's another surprise.
There were 7 upstairs.
It appears his tenant, Carmen, may have been subletting rooms.
Allegedly, she was charging £600-800 a month. She was making money. I suspected there could be more people in the property, but I didn't have a clue at that point. And of course, if the police hadn't have turned up, God knows what would have happened. You know, the brother who was kicking off could have shouted down, and you know, all hell could have broke loose. So, yeah, it was a fractious situation.
Could you just sign there for me, please? Yeah.
Now that Scott's sure that everyone has left, Mohammed can finally have his home back.
Well done, Scott. You've done a really good job.
No problem.
Very, very good.
I earned me money today, haven't I?
You've earned your money.
Look at the garden.
Huh?
Rubbish that they left there.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's disgusting.
None of that was yours?
None of that was mine. None of this is mine.
You're going to have to skip all this.
I am, and that's going to cost me
that's going to cost you more money.
It's not just the garden that's a shock. They soon discover that every space has been converted into a bedroom.
This is supposed to be the dining room, the lounge, but this isn't a bedroom.
They're double beds. Most probably 2 people were sleeping in each bed, trying to maximise as much money as possible. She's still outside, the woman.
She's still outside, yeah.
I think you might need to leave someone in here.
Yeah, I'm just going to call my brother, because if I go work, I can't have no one coming in here.
Who's to say they're not going to break back in? What do they want? Nice.
I mean, I tried to give it a show that I wasn't scared, I wasn't intimidated, but it did feel like a war, and it was a war that I was always losing. I just have this feeling that it's not over yet. With these guys, they just come up with surprises. Because I know they've just gone down the road, they're probably just waiting for that house to be empty. I'm just thinking, what's going to happen next?
Two of letting agent Paul Ainsworth-Lord's tenants have been causing havoc with their neighbours.
This can't carry on happening. They're going to be out. I want them out. Getting quite serious now.
One tenant, Simon, has left the property, but the other, Danny, has now moved his girlfriend and her child in.
They're trashing the house, causing havoc on the street. It's turning into a bad job. So, gotta go. Deborah from our office, my wife, she's going to be meeting us there. She's got a slightly different tact than myself. So on this visit, we'll probably do the good cop, bad cop. State to play is, we've had the complaints, and the music's been banging all night. It's not stopped now, and it's 11:30 next day. The grounds for eviction, we've opted for grounds 14, which is the antisocial, you know, that kind of angle. Is he not? Right, so can you call Danny and ring him and tell him I need to speak to him?
Yeah, I'm giving it you now. Right. Well.
It was a video call, like a FaceTime or something. They could see me, but I couldn't see them. Can't see you, Danny.
Listen back. I'm giving you 2 minutes to get away.
Who's that, Danny?
You with the 418, I'm giving you 2 minutes to get away. I want to come in and get the flesh off your face.
Where's Danny?
Can you listen
Who am I talking to?
Listen, never mind, Danny. You've got 2 minutes to get away. I'm coming, and I'm ripping the flesh off your face.
It's just folk being gobshites, isn't it? They do it all the time. Probably would never have said anything like that to my face. Who are you?
Hello, excuse me. Can I ask who are you?
Paul from Ainsworth Lord Estates.
Danny now, mate. Who is it?
I'm Paul from Ainsworth Lord Estates.
Whoever is threatening Paul doesn't sound like Danny, but moments later, the tenant himself comes on the line.
Right, what are you after?
I want to speak to Danny. We've got all these problems to discuss, man.
If you wait there, I'll be with you in 2 minutes.
That's fine. I'll wait. Doesn't seem like Danny to me, that.
2 minutes later, Danny arrives.
Fucking fuming.
Do you want to...
Honestly, if that camera goes in my face, I'll take it out your hand.
Do you want to...
Hi, mate. I'll take it out your hand if that camera goes near me.
Do you want to know why we're here?
Well, obviously, I'm probably being evicted or something.
It's not that.
I'm serious, get that camera out my fucking face. No, get that camera out my face. No, cameras, I'm telling you.
With Danny causing a scene, a neighbour intervenes.
Listen, are you going to start? Are you going to start on me?
If I have to go to a situation that might kick off, Deborah's the one to take because I think she's good at diffusing situations.
All the doors are damaged either side. Looks like punch fist marks. Yeah, there's a door off here. The fact that that's how they think they can behave within somebody else's property. Oh, that's not good because that'll bring our friends the rodents. If I was their mum, I would be heartbroken, I would be distraught.
These holes ain't me. These ain't me. They're not me. This is Simon's. That one's me. I'll admit to that one's me. But there is...
Paul and Deborah don't know for sure who is responsible for the damage, but the source of the noise complaints soon becomes apparent.
There's some big speakers then, Danny.
Oh my God, that's some serious speakers.
Yeah.
You played it through them?
Yeah, it don't go on loud though, it's just because...
It's a wonder the wall's not down, fella. We were having phone calls on a Saturday from the next door neighbours telling us about the noise all night, the music. This was going for like 12 hours a night. And I do think we have to take some responsibility for antisocial behaviour.
The later began fighting and took it outside. Whilst they were outside, me and my partner went out and told them to be quiet and keep the noise down, that it woke the children up. Danny and Simon then arrived in a taxi with another guy and a massive set of speakers. He then told us the noise didn't matter as he's been evicted and was moving out in 4 weeks.
Yeah, I'll admit I am going to go because I've been told off Simon that someone else is moving in, so I had planned it.
So,
what?
If we can agree... amicably, that within 2 weeks...
2 weeks I'll be out and I promise...
But also, you see all the doors?
Yeah, I'm going to replace them. I'm going to come down to Ainsworth Floyd and I'm going to give them whatever it costs.
Because every door has been
got a hole.
smashed
I know,
in.
for the £30 a door, so what's that, 30, 60, I'll bring £200 down.
But can you get the rubbish shifted
Yeah,
with
of course
them?
I can. Of course I can.
So we've got a plan?
Yeah, we've got a plan.
We
2
know what
weeks,
we're
I'll
doing.
have the doors sorted and I'll be out.
And no more noise.
No more noise.
Thanks for letting us come in.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's got to breaking point now, isn't it? They're taking the mick to the extreme. I wouldn't want it next door to me.
Lawyer Chris Sharp and Cheshire Police are on their way to evict squatters from a 3-bedroom bungalow.
It's 4:15 in the morning over at Mexico where Carl is, and I know he's awake and I know he's very apprehensive about what's going to happen in the next 5-10 minutes.
Earlier this week, Chris obtained a court order giving the squatters just 24 hours to get out. That deadline has passed, and anyone still in the property is in danger of arrest.
The very nature of a squatter's action is that you never quite know what you might meet or expect. You don't know if you're going to get friendly people or hostile people. So there's always a sense of anxiety.
Well, somebody's been back because I've taken our last notifications off.
On the back.
This is the one, yeah.
Hello? No? Don't let the dog out.
Don't let the dog out. Right, we're in.
Hello, please. Anybody in?
Obviously, signs it's being used.
No one's home, but it's clear someone is still living here.
That television's on. This heater, still on. People are still living here. They're still using this place. What legitimate tenant uses this modern locking device? It's like a railway sleeper.
Chris will have to try and secure the property before the squatter, or squatters, return. But for now, the police's job here is done.
Guys, I'm sure you've got better things to be doing. Thank you ever so much.
No problem at all.
Thank you for your help.
Soon after the police leave, a woman appears at the back door.
Hello. How are you? You know that if you'd been here about an hour ago, you'd have been arrested?
"18 months have passed since Mohammed evicted his tenant, Carmen. The builders had been in, and the 3-bedroom house in East London is now home to him and his family.
Bread first, then I'll give you that.
I want tea and bread.
Okay.
The unpaid rent, legal and eviction fees spiralled to £12,000, but he's worked day and night to turn the property into a family home.
We've done a lot of work inside and outside. Before we were pretty much living in 1 bedroom, and now we're living in a bigger house with 5 bedrooms.
And the wrecked garden's been transformed too.
I've always wanted a bigger garden, not just for my children to play in, but for me to do a bit of gardening, because I wanted to see the magic that happens with the plants and the flowers and the vegetables. That's it, excellent. Just looking through the eviction, I remember feeling a roller coaster of emotions. So many, I didn't know how I was feeling. I was slightly distraught about how it had escalated so fast. I was relieved that the police had come, and I was also scared for my safety, for my family's safety, because when I realised they just moved down to the end of the road.
The tenants have since moved out of the area, but Mohammed isn't taking any chances with security.
Because of the problems that we were having before, I wanted to be prepared for anything and everything. So I went all out. I put CCTV cameras, I've put an alarm system, and I've made sure I've got a door that can withstand even a bank robber's van going through it. So in terms of security, I fortified this house as much as I could. It's pretty much Fort Knox now, just so that my family can be safe.
Mohammed had no forwarding address for his tenant, Carmen, so he couldn't chase her for the money she owed him.
You can't come in.
Lawyer Chris Sharp has been tasked with evicting squatters from a property owned by a landlord living in Mexico.
If you'd have been here this morning...
One of the squatters, Cassie, has just turned up.
It's a criminal offence for you to be in this property. If you'd have been here this morning, you would have been arrested, because we had 4 police officers here this morning. So it's up to you what you want to do, but you're not coming in.
Okay. Okay. I understand. I was just looking for somewhere to live. I was made up that I had a roof to get over me had to go to.
Cassie has been squatting there for at least 6 weeks.
The builders are going to be securing it.
Okay.
Nobody can come back in then.
Okay.
So if you need a hand with some of your gear,
Okay.
we can get it for you.
Okay.
do you want to come in and show me what is yours?
Everything in there is mine. Obviously, I'm not going to get a chance to get this stuff, am I?
Well, we can put it outside for you. That's not a problem.
Okay. My children aren't living with me at the moment. I suffered badly with my back due to an accident I had. So I was finished in care work, which I loved, and if I'm honest, things I started going downhill when I lost my job. In the previous property I was in, I had my benefits stopped a couple of times, and my arrears just went mounting up and I couldn't catch up. And I've become further and further behind. And this is the outcome. I was just made up to have somewhere to go.
This is the real ugly side. Carl's 4,000 miles away, his house is getting ruined, and yet on the other side you've got Cassandra here. She's in a terrible position as well. There's no happy ending. Not for Carl, not for Cassandra. It's a shocking situation, it really is. That moment that you realise the desperate situation of some individuals, she looked broken. That is a very difficult part of my job.
I think that's pretty much what I can take for now.
When we started this process, we knew we were dealing with something underhand. But what's come to the surface is clearly a very vulnerable individual. We've still got to deal with this, but this shouldn't be on Carl's shoulders. This is not his problem to carry.
I guess I'll try and stay on a friend's sofa for now and go from there.
I want the tenancy surrendered, and then we can draw a line under this. I've got a frigging nightmare.
After repeated complaints of antisocial behaviour, letting agent Paul Ainsworth-Lord is trying to remove tenants from a house he manages.
They're causing havoc on that street. It's just a nightmare for us all. I want them out, I want the house back. They were supposed to move out before the weekend, but it's well into Monday now, so I'm hoping and praying that they've gone. It'll be a good day for us all if they've lived true to the word. Well, they knew I was coming today, and it has been agreed they'd move out, so I'm assuming they must have gone. Hello? The little swines. Oh, what a mess. Oh, talk about get your back up. Bloody hell, more vandalism up wall. You just ripped them off, you know, damaged all the casing. There's just no need for it.
During Paul's last visit, one of the tenants, Danny, said he'd either fix the broken doors or provide money to replace them before moving out.
At the end of the day, he can talk the talk. When it boils down to it, he's really not asked. They've yanked off the bloody, completely busted. Snapped off, and these are window locks. So you've not fixed any of the doors. The key to the success is negotiating people out, coming to an amicable arrangement. It's far better to do things amicably, part as friends, if you like. We have failed, yeah. It's when Blackburn Rovers won the Premier League in '94. Somebody's had that for a long time. What? 25 years, 26 years they've had it. And it's just been lost now because it's wrecked.
But the worst of the destruction is in the kitchen.
Oh, nothing like ripping a few cupboard doors off, eh? It's what you call willful damage, that. When I came here last week, this was all fine, it was quite tidy-ish, but all the doors were intact. They've been ripped off, physically ripped off. Just chucked down here. It just makes me really mad, because this is just being nasty now. It's just peevishness, isn't it? I regret having let them have the house, in hindsight, which is a great thing. He should never have got the property, or we would never have given him the property.
Paul posts a notice of abandonment.
Friggin' scroats, that's what they are, scroats.
This means that he can legally end the tenancy, but he'll never be certain who caused all the damage. Before the house can go back on the market, the landlord faces a big clean-up bill.
One innocent play can cost you thousands of pounds. Left with a dump or a trashed house. Just evil, a version of evilness.
It's been 6 months since the tenants moved out, and Paul is going back to the house.
It was the pits. One of the messiest jobs I've had to deal with in recent times. These lads were up to all sorts. Complaints from the neighbours that they were driving up and down in the house with motorbikes. And it's like, you what? Shoot to God, no. It's not that big of a house. So I'll take you in and show you what it's like now. The girl that's moved in here, she's got it beautiful. Where this black graffiti was is that wall there. And that took a lot of paint. Lots of elbow grease and man hours. It's turned out lovely. The hearth, the fire thing was all wrecked, kicked in. Decision was made to make it all nice and neat and modern.
In the kitchen, it wasn't just the cupboard doors that had been ripped off. Something had been thrown over the base units as well.
It was like a tarry, acidy, oily stuff. Completely wrecked it. And it's become beyond economical repair. So in the end, that coupled with this acid stuff that was on all the base units, we had to make a decision to look at the numbers. What was the best thing to do? Replace it.
Paul now has new tenants living in the house, a young mum with 2 kids.
She's got it really lovely. She's made it proper nice and homely. We've gone from a skanky scrot to somebody who really appreciates what she's got. But they had these 2 makeshift bed things. You can see all the food on the carpets. The mind boggles. Completely first-class scrot, these lads. And I should imagine they're probably struggling to find somewhere else to live now. It serves them right.
It's been more than 18 months since Chris had the difficult job of evicting squatter Cassie from Carl's bungalow in Cheshire, and that job has very much stayed with him.
It wasn't easy for us that day. It was clear, instantly, that we were dealing with someone who was very vulnerable. Obviously, we had a job to do, but I had a long journey home that day, wondering, where will she turn to next? What is round the corner for her? You know, it did bother me.
Then, 4 weeks ago, Cassie called him.
She's invited us over today to see what she's doing, to see how far she's come from where she was.
Cassie had been using drugs, and all Chris knows is that she's now off them.
All right.
And working at an equine therapy centre,
Stand.
not far from Crewe.
Hi, Cassie, how are you?
Oh, good.
Come here. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Come here.
Oh, good.
You know, it's so lovely to see you. I mean, this situation is amazing. I mean, what a beautiful place.
It is amazing. I love being here. Love it.
So what are you doing now then?
I've been studying horse care and management.
Yeah.
I've done that course, and now I'm doing the equine psychology side of it. So they've been here 2 months. I spend a lot of time looking out, grooming the horses.
After Cassie was evicted, she sofa surfed with friends, but ended up homeless on the streets. For Cassie, that was the turning point.
I've done some really bad things in my addiction. I've hurt people that have loved me, and all they wanted for me was to get well, and they were desperate for that, and I just couldn't stop.
It was clear that, you know, you were in a kind of a bad place.
Yeah, definitely. I
And
was broken, yeah.
12 months later.
Or just over.
Different person,
Yeah.
different place. It's
Entirely
amazing. Yeah,
different
yeah.
person entirely.
It's great.
It's not been easy.
No, I can only imagine.
Yeah. None of them times are coming again. No. I do not ever want to go back to that place. I might have been dead.
You did it.
Yeah.
You did it.
I'm proud. I'm proud of how far I've come. Change is possible, and anybody can do it. If I can do it and change how much I've changed, anybody can do it.
Just so glad I've had the opportunity to meet you again.
Yeah, me too.
Because you always see people, and then all you see, the last you see of them is walking away.
Yeah.
With a bag. And in 9 times out of 10 cases, it's like, well, good riddance.
Yeah.
But it was a long journey home for me that day.
Yeah.
Really long. It was. No, I'm really pleased with it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.